So, for those of you who don't know, well, I'm gonna start with an introduction. Basically, me talking about this is gonna be a small mini rant on Red Dead Auto 5 and controversy in general with the game and maybe some of the series. So, I may be veering off to the topic of the game itself to talk about other controversy that the series has had in general. So, for those you don't know, Grand Theft Auto 5 has gotten a lot of flack from the media, which is no fucking surprise since we know Grand Theft Auto, as its own merit, has kind of driven itself, no pun intended, into a lot of bad publicity. While we see the gamers as a very great game, it's open world, you get to do whatever you want, you know, and basically, it gives you this game. I mean, not this game. It gives you this world and say, do whatever you want, and then leaves you to do whatever you want. And that's what we do. That's what we like about Grand Theft Auto. It's open world. It's open worldness. There are tons of games I can play where I'm running in a linear path. But then I need to come back to a game like Grand Theft Auto to show me that maybe some games can have a little non-linearity. By little, I mean a whole fucking lot. Besides that, there's been a lot of controversy. Though they've completely bypassed, all the normal technical things about, you're able to pick up hookers, you're able to kill people with baseball bats, you're able to do all this stuff. They basically said, fuck it, which I'm clapping for. Finally, we've left Grand Theft Auto alone about that. But now something new came across. There's a certain mission with the. I haven't played the game, but from what I've heard, there's a certain mission with the player character Trevor, who is that the redneck guy. I've actually seen like a lot of gameplay footage of him. He's actually hilarious to me. But there's actually a certain mission where you can do where you're torturing this. I forgot what his name was, but whatever. You're just torturing this guy, and the ability. I don't think it's the torturing itself; it's how you torture them. Is what got people. There is a technique in torture culture, I would say, called waterboarding, where you put basically like a cloth or something over the victim's mouth and pour water into it. What it would do is it would simulate drowning, and by experience, that's a horrible feeling. Drowning is no laughing matter. It's very, very, very horrible. It hurts, your lungs are filling up with water, so it's hard to breathe, you're gasping for air at every chance. It's a nightmare. What's that bumping outside? Seriously, there's something bumping outside. I'm watching too many horror flicks lately, I guess. And anyways, and so people got an uproar about that torture scene in Grand Theft Auto 5. And I'm gonna go ahead and add my 2 cents to the episode because with something like Grand Theft Auto, you really don't need to play the game to know that something controversial is gonna come out of it. And so, here's my 2 cents. To be honest, Grand Theft Auto has also built itself around, well, semi-realism. It's really one big parody of real life. The things about people killing hookers, picking up hookers, going to strip clubs, killing people with baseball bats, guns, rocket launchers, stealing cars, stealing helicopters. This all happens in real life, believe it or not. Even the stealing helicopters part. It all happens. You've never watched a show called Cops or America's Most Wanted? This crap actually happens. It's not staged in any way. Okay? You turn on the fucking news and you cannot. There is not even a single day that's gone by where somebody says, so and so, a local blah 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 has been murdered and blah blah blah. You can't. There's not even a single day where somebody's gone without murdering somebody. And yet, leave it to a game like Grand Theft Auto 5 or something like that to actually bring your eyes into attention that this stuff actually happens. Government torture actually happens. It's the game's really one big parody of real life. Misogyny, sexism, racism, these things happen. Yet when a game like Grand Theft Auto comes into it, comes into play, and Video games can't. You can't do that. We can't have our video games basically showing realism. So, of course, people are gonna cause an uproar about it. The biggest issue with this game is, well, it's torture scene and torture in general. You can't act like government torture has not happened before. Even with our own government, they are horrible at hiding things. I mean, all this. Remember all that jazz that went around with Iraq and Iran? When we were over there killing them, I'm pretty sure we had to. Pretty sure somebody tortured them to get the information out of them on where Bin Laden was. I mean, I don't really, I don't really go forward with torturing, but I mean, they have to do what they have to do, I suppose. I'm not a soldier. I'm not a commanding officer. I can't tell them what to do. But we can't look at Grand Theft Auto and then slam it because it's pointing us into the right direction. It's opening our eyes to something. Sometimes you need to have this shown to you. All the things that happened in this game, no matter how uncomfortable it was, believe me, when I saw the torture scene, it did feel uncomfortable. But you have to realize that this happens. I mean, it happens. Misogyny happens, sexism happens, racism. I know that firsthand. It fucking happens. Here we go with that tangent I was talking about. The same thing about like that game Bully that they made. That those kind of things happen. Kids get bullied every fucking day. That's the whole stop bullying crap doesn't work. Sometimes you need to stand up for yourself, and that's where like that kid, the main character, really comes in. He wasn't really born like into bullying. He just figured out that if I'm going to survive, I guess I have to do what I have to do. I mean, you have choices in the game. It's a Grand Theft Auto style game. It's basically like Grand Theft Auto in a school setting, and it's still fucking like bowls of fun. It's bowls of fun. So, anyways, I don't really want to do other parts to this. I just really wanted to get this out of the way because I'm sick of people basically dogging down and bashing Grand Theft Auto for basically opening their eyes to what happens. I mean, it's like when television gets the same thing. When somebody points out something to you and you just want to say la la la, not listening when it happens in real life, and then Grand Theft Auto or something comes around and says, "Hey, these things actually happen," and then you want to slam the game for basically pointing it out to you. You can stay in your little candy land all you want to. You have to face reality sometimes. I'm just saying. Racism happens, sexism happens, misogyny happens, torture happens, murder happens, grand theft happens. All these things happen, people. I'm just saying. And guess what? We're gonna be continue playing Grand Theft Auto 5 because this fucking game in 3 days already racked up $8 million for Rockstar. Yeah, they're sitting in it. They're sitting in a sea of money over there in London or wherever their base of operations is, while you're over here bitching about something that's really trivial. I know at the end of the day, torture is bad, but you don't act like because Grand Theft Auto brought it up that it needs to be a serious business. Because it happened before. You just wanted to bat your eye at it. So, anyways, this is Grand Metro Circus. Like, comment, subscribe. I got that backwards. I'm gonna start over. Like, comment, subscribe. Do whatever. It's real life. This is Grand Retro Circus. I'm going to be waiting until I can finally get the damn game. So I'm going to be, watching other people's reviews of it. Hopefully no spoiler alerts. And, yeah, I'm out.